It's Osho here, and today I'm going to have a little bit of a rant. I don't know how long this is going to go, so depends. Maybe it might be 30 minutes or not. Hopefully it doesn't go too long. So, um I'll probably have some visualizers, but most likely it's going to be like a podcast format here. So, if you want to just browse around Reddit or something while I'm doing this, go free ahead. Probably. You're probably not going to miss much on the visualizers. It might just show some of the stats of what the NTC stuff is going to be and maybe a thing showcasing what I'm going to talk about a little bit. So, well, yesterday they announced the Naval Training Center. So everyone's going to be angry about this, and this is going to be yet another video of that. That's going to probably be countless from all the other CCs and stuff. So, bear with me on how lengthy this will be, but to give at least a little bit of validity to what I'll be saying. I'm not too much different from everyone else that's played this game. I've played since CBT. I've had a couple of breaks and stuff. I don't have the 10,000 games that a lot of other people have. I only have like 4,000. So it's not a whole lot, but I've been playing for a very long time. And I average 60%, so woohoo. I have that under me, I guess. If that gives any qualification to talk about this, I doubt it. Anyone can talk about this and be pissed and angry, and it makes sense to be angry at this. This is a really bad change for the game, in my own personal opinion, and I'm going to give the reason of why, and I'm going to give it via the experience of what I understand from this, because I've experienced something like this, and it was a game that I really did enjoy, but it played a little bit differently than Warships, and that was Tom Clancy's End War. And in that kind of game, it was an RTS that didn't have build orders and stuff, and that's why I liked it. I didn't have to do build orders because build orders are the most annoying things, and I'm a very slow person for RTS. I feel it's one of the things that I just can't mechanically grasp completely on a competitive level. So that's why I don't like build orders is I can't keep tabs on that. So I digress from that. We're gonna get back to the topic now. The reason I'm getting experience to talk about this is Tom Clancy's End War had units that had experience that continued throughout all of your matches. So when you're playing online, you had a battalion that you controlled, and these battalions had specialties. So you might have like an infantry battalion that would give you access to infantry buffs, and also you would have more infantry cards that could level up. And if you burn through all these cards in a battle, you're just going to have basically, let's just say, Russian conscript level shit. So to get back to this point now, these unit experiences mattered a whole lot, and it changed drastically in how the game played for how much kind of units you had. And they gave you a little bit of choice on how to do this. You could start the game off with, well, I wouldn't say start the game off. If you had experienced units, you could deploy them first or last in the battle. And people that deployed it first were probably more playing to win, as they would probably try to win through basically speed and blitzkrieg the guy down really quickly. And anyone deploying it last is trying to train up their army. And debating the pros and cons of this, it's all over the place in that kind of game. But most of the time, I deployed mine last to win through basically making a comeback, as they will lose their 3-star units, and I'll have my 3-star units at the end of the day when they only have 1 stripes. And what these means, those were the unit ranks. So you go from basically 1 stripes to 3 stripes, and then you get starred units after that 3 stripe. And these ranks drastically changed how the unit performed. At 2 stripes and 3 stripes, you get a special ability that can either quarter health a unit if they had shields, and if they don't have shields, you'll basically half health them sometimes. These special attacks did a certain amount of damage, and some units just were really beefy. when they're 3 stars. And a good example of that would be a Russian 3-star tank taking on a 1-stripe engineer unit. The engineer unit is the prodigal counter to basically all vehicles if they are in cover. Except when they are completely outranked. And by completely outranked, a 3-star Russian unit wouldn't even lose its shields by the time it murdered a fully in cover 1-stripe engineer. And that just completely broke any form of tactics if the person knew what rank those units were. Now, you couldn't tell. You could slightly tell a little bit, actually, by looking at the models of the unit and seeing if they had upgrades and stuff. But infantry is pretty much impossible. I feel like I never really looked at those. But the unit, like the tanks and APCs, you could see because they would have specific add-ons to the unit models. But other than that, you probably wouldn't be able to notice unless you're getting shit on by those special attacks. So the reason I'm talking about, or I'm trying to make parallels with this game to the NTC, is it's basically the same thing now. People that just have time and spent the games to rank up these units, or equivalently, the people that spent the time to basically regrind through an entire line to get these tier 1, 2, and 3 upgrades for their ships, they just get advantages. And there's no skill gap in that. That doesn't matter what skill gap is. Skill gap can kind of close in on certain things, but the people with the skill gap are going to have the tools. You're just giving a bigger club to the person that's going to already have it, and you're allowing them to hoard more resources. And in warships, there's people that have like millions of free XP and billions, or at least a billion of credits. People exist. Those people that have 20,000 games, they have that. They're not going to feel a single loss in their economy regrinding these ships. They could just do it in a day, and the only thing that slows them down is the season thing. But that doesn't matter to them. They got time. They've played 20,000 games. They can wait. And they probably have a main ship that they play in clan battles. And that's going to be the ship they're going to probably upgrade. Most likely. And like my plan would be to upgrade Des Moines because I like that ship the most. But, you know, everyone has their favorite ship, and that's going to be it's going to upgrade it. But it creates this just unfair advantage of significant proportions. So to get back to like Tom Clancy's End War, a 1-stripe unit fighting the similar 3-star unit would be completely disadvantaged. The 3-star unit would wipe the floor with it. It would just, there's no tactics. There's no counterplay. It completely breaks the rock, paper, scissors format that Tom Clancy's End War had. And it was extremely frustrating to play against. Now, I made up for that because I was an extremely good player during that time I played that game, in 2012, 2011. And I had a really good teammate as well. And we completely reset our battalions constantly over time because eventually I found, you know, it didn't really matter at the point because how would I say? You could win through just tactics in that game, but when you fight a guy with every unit that is a 3-star because he preserved his units through the entire time, it completely throws tactics out of the window, and it basically makes it one of the most difficult games to get through because you have to fight completely disadvantaged. Think of like playing an online game where you give a person 100% bonus resources to everything and just give them everything of an advantage, like an AI on very hard difficulty for like Europa or just any other strategy game where the AI just gets significant advantages in damage and health and resource count. And that's what you're doing. At the end of the day, that's exactly what you're fighting against, is someone with a significant boost in their resource or their unit efficiencies, while you're playing with these guys that can't do anything. You're basically fighting with Russian conscripts at the point, and it just makes it unfun. Or, you know, I like the David versus Goliath kind of strategy stuff, but at the end of the day, no one likes that. You're not going to play a game constantly when you're running into a Yamato that has 15% more health, 10% more dispersion ellipse to it, so it just constantly hits you, and it also just doesn't die by fire because it has quick DCP, and it also has multiple heals. It just isn't going to die so easily. And that can go for all these other things. Say like an Henri, a completely overperforming ship right now, and maybe the IFHE changes will change this, but it's not going to change how kiters get such an improvement of efficiency from just tier 1 upgrades to the cruiser. You get not only 10% hit points. That's the small buff to this. The 20% rudder shift time is insane to give cruisers for free. That is a free upgrade that is going to make it stupid to fight against, because these things are going to be really responsive. A Zhao with 20% rudder can probably also now take, maybe it will take rudder, or maybe it will take Excel mod, and it will be able to kite so much more efficiently, especially when it has legendary mod. It's just going to have basically 100% rudder shift time. So it's going to have like a 2-second, 3-second rudder. It's going to be extremely agile and have so much dodging opportunities just from that it's stupid to do this. And now these numbers aren't final, but it shows a pathway. And this pathway is a really bad idea to go down, because any percent of increase other than like consumables or things that you can get from things, at least, this takes time to get. And a lot of the people that get to tier 10 have just a couple tier 10s. Now, there's definitely a lot of late game people that have like everything, and those are the people with the 15 to 20,000 games. But not everyone's there, and that is a point where, you know, they want to make late game content, but this is the wrong way to do it. And it's very detrimental to this game. And I know everyone's been saying this already, so it's basically beating the dead horse on why this is bad, and Wargaming, please don't do this. I understand you need late game content, but there's multiple ways of doing this. I think the best one would be is to basically just remove premium camos. And I know everyone's gonna be like, what? No, I paid for those. And I'll fix that a little bit by basically saying that they'll give you a tier 1 version of that now. And if you did this whole regrind thing, you would just give them better economic bonuses to that cruiser or that battleship at the end of the line, or which one you want. You can get tokens to get better camos, and these camos would have tiers that would have better bonuses over time, and these bonuses wouldn't affect actual combat performance. It would affect credit multipliers, free XP multipliers, economic multipliers, basically, at the end of the day. And no one would notice that. The people with bloated free XP and stuff, they could, if they wanted to burn through that just to get a more fun ship, that if they play a ship a lot and they want to play that and get more economic power from it, that'll be better than this. And maybe some of them won't go down this kind of route to play that kind of a style of game for end game content, but that's fine. Some people will, and some people won't. Some people don't raid in World of Warcraft. Some people don't, play the end game content like that, and they all play differently. Some people just play this game casually, and not having late game content is fine. World of Tanks basically had that for how long? It only had the clan battle system and all that stuff, and they had a terrible economy at the end of the point, and they still survived, and they've been still going pretty well even lately. Yet they need to bring this into the game and for warships, and I just don't see why. They say that they have, you know, decent numbers of people still playing the game, and that's understandable, but I don't see the reason to bring this in. You don't need this kind of late game content. I know some people have been getting burned out and stuff, and maybe they're getting bored of the constant clan battles ranked rotation, and this is just gonna burn them out faster. This actually runs directly in conflict with that mode, because you have to consume all of your cruisers or all of your ships in a line to do this, and that runs directly in conflict with clan battles. And I know the next season is going to be tier 8 coming up, but you know, in tier 8's not too hard to get to if you're pretty motivated and getting to it, especially if you're one of the veteran players. You're going to have everything in your hands. But this just runs in conflict with late game content kind of understandings. You're consuming your late game content to get more late game content. It's a dumb cycle, and I don't understand why. It's just a really terrible prestige system to me. And I'm not gonna try to be rude to like developers and stuff, but like I just don't like it, and it's a punch in the face for someone that's been sticking around since, you know, CBT and has stuck through the carrier rework, which I furiously hated as well. But hey, now it's fine now because there's a carrier not every single freaking game, so now it's more bearable. But this is not going to be bearable. Like 3 years down the road from now, these ships are going to be the commonality. They're going to be your tier 13 unit that's just going to be always there. Every Unicum is going to have their very specific ship that they're going to have every, you know, thing kitted out for it. Like, everyone's going to get at least to tier 2. Tier 3 is not that big of a difference other than like the +1 consumable. But tier 2 is not, you know, something that you can skip. And every competitive ship is going to need these. And this is just going to ruin balance for a lot of ships. Some ships are balanced around their accuracy, and this is going to improve it. I just don't see this as a good. And it very much questions the longevity of this game, and it's late game content that is destroying the game itself, which is ironic, because you're supposed to get to this and be like, yes, I can finally do this, like a raid in World of Warcraft. But this is detrimental, because you'll get to tier 10 and be like, time to leave tier 10 now. We're going to go back to tier 6 so I can improve my tier 10. And it's just really bad for a new player that just got a tier 10, because he's not going to make this choice. Why would he just got to tier 10. Why would he want to destroy his tier 10 to get an improved tier 10 like 8 months down the road? Because it probably took him a long ass time to get this, because he doesn't run premium time, or he, you know, doesn't have XP flags and all those things, because you build those up by ranked sprint. But to them, they're just not going to have those kind of resources. And the people that already have resources are all the late game content people. And we're just getting a bigger club. Like, I can take the hit and chew through my lines. Like, if this update hits, I'm going to probably just sacrifice my USN DD line. And if I can get more points than the amount that gives, I'll probably sacrifice my USN BB line, because why play Montana now when Kreml exists? Why play Gearing when Daring exists for me? And I won't feel the effects of this change, but some people will. And the people that will are not going to have a fun time fighting a ship that has, you know, more HP, better maneuverability, better accuracy, better consumable reload times, more consumables. It's just bad, and you can't balance this. It's impossible. You can't give combat buffs to these ships and not expect bad stuff to happen. I think Little White Mouse basically said this perfectly too. You could give any ship a module, like an upgrade, that would apply a reduction in dispersion. Everyone would take that. A 3% reduction in dispersion, everyone's going to take that. Because it's just better. Reduction in dispersion is like the biggest buff you can give people. And everyone's going to take it. Like, the USN battleship line always takes the minus 11% dispersion mod. I mean, I've seen some people run reload, but a lot of people are pretty questionable as well. And reducing dispersion is just too good to pass up. It's why the Yamato Legendary mod is the best mod for Yamato. More so than reload even, because you just hit more shells. If you can hit more shells, your reload doesn't matter. It's like the Montpellier against Cleveland debate. Montpellier has the same DPM, but it just hits more shells. Specific kind of modes. The only time Cleveland gets better is if it's like 3 kilometers away, because you're going to hit everything anyway. So I just don't think this is a great idea, because you're going to have to do it. And the people that just get to this game, especially since they're doing the whole get people back into the game kind of Amazon credits kind of stuff, this is completely contradictory to what they would want. Because you're going to bring these new people in to get clubbed. And now you're giving us bigger clubs. And you're telling us to go play Tier 6 again. And it's really bad to bring someone that's, been experienced in the game back to Tier 6 to tell them to play that. It's not, a good thing for the game. It's going to be Julio Cesare all over again. And this is just bad. I don't know how much further I can go with this whole rant now, because it's just, why? At the end of the day, just why make this? And there's so much other ways you could do late game content. You could give camos, and I mean, they've been doing this too. They have the whole ranked stuff and clan battle camo stuff you can get from finishing off those. But I just find this kind of way of end game content really bad. You could just do it a whole lot differently. You could change ranked to be a constant series of things, like League of Legends. I mean, we don't have that many people, but you could do the whole cross-server kind of stuff to play that, and that would be a whole lot more fun than this. Like, say if you have cross-server ranked, like a League of Legends kind of system where you have leagues and you gain points and stuff, and it's basically throughout the whole year as a season, or at least the whole season, like say 6 months. You got to make it distantly long, and if you don't play it, you lose your ranking slowly, like a decaying ranked, unless you're at a certain low rank, like say silver league or something. You'd have motivation to play that, but it won't be so time consuming like clan battles. It wouldn't be so grindy as this. It wouldn't be so unfun like the current rank system, where you just play games and hope to God you can get it done in a certain X amount of games that you would want. And in more of in that kind of system, you'd have, you would cut the chaff really quickly with the way it works, because you would probably be in the same league rankings as everyone else, and everyone else would eventually normalize into a 50-50 win rate. You'd have the top people in the very top, and you'd have the bottom people in the very bottom. And then you'd have the middle people still kind of figuring out where the hell they are. And that would be a whole lot more fun than this. Because at least it's balanced. And it would at least have some competitive edge to it. And it would be late game content that's just constantly there. And you could give bonuses to people that are in certain rankings. Like how League of Legends does it. They give you skins. I think they give you more than that. I think if you're really in the high league stuff, they actually give you like a jacket and stuff. It's kind of cool in that kind of regard. You don't need to give like actual physical goods to people. But you can give things that are in game, like doubloons and credits, coal, steel, things like that. And that would be fun late game content. You don't need to give these people overpowered chips. They're already strong enough. Stop giving them club upgrades. They don't need nails on it. They just want to play the game and, you know, not get burned out. And I just feel this is just going to burn them out, and it's going to piss everyone off. And it already has. I mean, they already know. I'm betting the forums are probably on fire still. I rarely look at them. I mean, if you saw my post history for like the NA forums, I got like probably like 10 posts. I haven't looked at it, don't quote me on that, but it's definitely less than like 100. And some, you know, I'm just a quiet person that just sits around and watches everything. But this is enough. It's time. It's time to talk about this and just wargaming. Stop. Slow down. Take this out. All those other changes you have in this coming update of 8.7 are amazing. I like it. I like what you're doing on those. This, just kind of put it in the corner and forget about it. Let's just forget about this NTC stuff. This is gonna be in the corner. Just throw it in the bin. It's a nice idea, but it's not gonna work. I don't think. Well, at least I don't think it's gonna work. They could throw it in and be like, it worked, but I don't like it. No one likes it. Every CC hates it. The whole meeting. If you watched iChase video of this, everyone's just like, why? Why do this? I understand why they have to support it. Not the CCs, but like the people that work at Wargaming, because it's their job. At the end of the day, that's their job. If you're an HR person, you do HR for the company. And whether people hate you for doing what your job is, it's going to happen. But, you know, just think about these changes and don't do them. It's a really bad idea. There's many more other things you could do for this game, and this is one of the things, the road that you do not want to go down, because it really kills new player retention really quickly. And to get back to my point, when I started playing, back to like Tom Clancy's End War, when I started playing that, it was at the end of the game, basically. Like, a lot of people left that game because of this exact problem of units that were so good that you tactically can't really do anything against them. You can't win via the rock, paper, scissors. You would have to win through basically horde tactics where you use multiple units to beat other units. And that means they like, oh, you're just outsmarting and not tactically playing him, but he gets equal amount of units too. So it's not like you can just win all the time. You sacrifice people in that game. And, you know, that game put me through like a lot of emotional toll. It basically blunted my anger for years, because I experienced so much loss playing that game, because you'd lose units and experience. Because if your unit was killed in action, because it would evacuate when it goes down, and this is kind of probably going to fly over everyone's head that didn't play this game. In that game, you could evacuate your units, or when they are defeated, they'll go grayed out, and people would start ignoring them unless directly told to kill them. And you could win battles that way. That was the only option on winning against those people sometimes is to kill their units. Now, I didn't partake in directly going after everyone that had 3-star units. Some people did. Those guys were dicks, and I hated them because I had to fight them a lot, and those kind of people I would fight in the dirtiest way possible as well as they would do to me, tit for tat. But you don't get that opportunity in this kind of game. You can't, say, take away a level from this person. They don't risk anything. They just spend time. And there's no counter to this. Once a person has a level 3 battleship, that's what they got. And they're going to have it forever. And they are not going to want to let that go. And there's no way to take it from them at that point. Because everyone's going to have them. And we saw, backlash like the GC kind of, Ulises Zari kind of shit go down, where everyone's like, I got mine. You're not taking it away, kind of a thing. And, that kind of pissed me off about the community of, like, understanding, like, hey, maybe we should take game balance and be like, let's improve it. But now, if this gets improved, like, applied to the game, it's going to be out of the bag. And it ain't going to go back in the bag. And it's going to be here forever. And just like Tom Clancy's End War, people are going to get frustrated playing against ships that are significantly better than them. Not only commanded by a person that's better than them, but because the ship itself is just better. And it's just not going to be fun to play against. And just like Tom Clancy's End War, people are probably going to stop playing. And this is a niche game. End War was a niche game. We wouldn't survive an Exodus, or at least a significant one. If you get below a certain value of players, stuff just stops. You start having 2-minute queues. You start going up. Just play this game at like midnight in your country. I don't know if EU server and Russia server feels this, but like in the C server or NA, you start playing at midnight, no one's on. You get like 2-minute, 3-minute queues. It was pretty commonality back then to get like a 5-minute queue in a short game, especially at specific tiers. And that could become a commonality. And once that starts hitting, it starts a cascade effect, and it brings lower numbers, and the numbers go down even faster. And if they bring this into the game, it's not going to go back in the bag. Because knowing from the Julius Cesare kind of event, or showdown, what happened in the forums and all that shit for just balancing premiums, this is going to be exactly the same shit. So everyone's going to say, hey, I sacked 2 multiple lines for this to get this upgrade. I ain't going to lose it now. And it's going to be really bad. It's just going to be the GC stuff all over again. If they try to remove this after, be like, oh, this doesn't work. Because people are dicks in this game, and it's not, it's pretty common for online games, but this is just, it's not going to end well. It may cause an exodus right in the beginning, but I feel like in the beginning of like this update, I think most people won't be just like gone, but over time, as new player retention drops to 0 or like a 10th, say for every one person they bring in, they lose 10 people playing the game itself. Numbers will drop slowly because every clubbing ship is going to be just some stupid beast that no one's going to be able to kill anymore because it's just super strong, and I don't know why they did this kind of stuff. So people will stop playing, in the beginning of the game. It is not going to... Why grind through to tier 6? Like, tier 5 is already a fucking wall. You get to tier 5, you're fighting tier 7s. You get an Omaha, and Omaha just gets shit on by a Nagato. What are you going to do? Burn them to death? Yeah. You just started the game. You don't know what the hell is going on. The only thing you know is A and D and W and left mouse button, and casually pushing R sometimes to set off, like, turn off a fire and stuff. You don't know, like, specific things. You just want to go down, you know, a single line. Maybe you want to go down like the battleship line. So maybe you're in New Mexico who goes 20 knots and can't fight tier 7s because they overmatch your bow. You don't know that. You don't know those exact specific kind of gameplay stuff. But once you hit tier 5, you hit this dumb wall. And if anyone's going to be upgrading tier 7 ships like a CNOP or Belfast, it's just gonna shit all over these people that just start the game. And they're not gonna want to play against this. They're just gonna see a ship that just shits all over them and just dumpsters them. And then they're gonna be like, why even play? I'm gonna go back to, you know, Call of Duty, League of Legends, or whatever game they want to play that's more popular. And they'll leave. You wouldn't get any new people because every time they get to tier 5, they're gonna just get shit on. And if they keep on going, it just gets worse. Because the closer you get to tier 10, the more upgraded ships you fight. And it's just going to get worse. You get to tier 8, you're going to be fighting tier 10s. And maybe the new tier 8, you know, matchmaking changes might adjust that a little bit. But you remember your really terrible games. And I mean, you might get those really amazing games, but it's going to be a whole lot less. Because you're going to run into that, like, say in the beginning you're playing a destroyer. You're going to run into that destroyer that has 15% more health than you. Or maybe not 15, I think it's 10. 10% more health than you. And a better rudder shift. They're going to dodge you. They're going to beat the shit out of you. And they're going to have more experience than you as well. So then, you know, you're just not going to have those carry games if you're new. Because everyone gets those. That's the amazing thing about the matchmaker right now is, ironically, is saying something amazing about Warship's matchmaker is kind of weird. But no matter how bad you are, you will eventually have a game where you just do everything perfectly and everything falls in line. And it's the most amazing feeling ever for you. Now, Unicoms do that way more often because they have high discipline and proper gameplay mechanics, understanding and positioning, and they have way more going for them. And this is just going to make it even more so. But, you know, everyone has these games. Everyone has that game where, like, I just did everything. I killed 8 people. I beat the shit out of the enemy on my entire flank because I flanked them, or, you know, just did everything right. Or didn't get targeted, stuff like that. But this is going to make it more rare of occurrence, because if you don't have that upgraded ship, you're not going to be efficient. And if you do have the upgraded ship, it's going to probably increase these modes. And it's going to make the matchmaker have far more difficulty. Because I don't think it's going to balance this. It's not going to see a tier 2 cruiser. And that's just a shame that it's going to exist like this. So, yeah, I really hope they don't bring this through. And I feel like they're going to probably be like, yeah, this is a bad idea because everyone's pissed off and fire is happening, and, you know, everyone's saying this is a bad idea. So, yeah, I think that's my rant about this. Is it's bad, and I don't like it, and everyone else doesn't like it. This is like the most unified shit the community has ever been. Even more so than like the GC stuff. Like, everyone's like unified that this is a dumb idea. And I think they won't go through with it. That would be a terrible business decision. I mean, if you look at, like, if I would read the numbers for, like, player retention after this is really bad. You do not want this to be in the system, because giving people clubs is giving people bigger clubs is just going to hurt your retention. In that, I'm not going to bring data because I don't have it, and I'm talking all anecdotally in the end of this because this is just my experience. Look at me making my rant go longer now. After I said I think that was my rant, but it's all anecdotal for me. But I have experience in understanding that this does not go well down this road. Tom Clancy's End War had this pathway like this, and its online scene just died pretty quickly. You had the stragglers that had all these things, and they kept on playing. Like, hell, people kept on playing World of Warplanes, even when they're like, this is shit in the beginning, and they improved it. But guess what? No one plays it still. Maybe they have some money from it, but they had to unify their economy to just get people to play it, because no one's playing it, because it's running into that online game syndrome of, if you get significantly too low of players, you're not going to get new players. And since you don't get new players, you lose players. And the more you lose players, the less players you get. And it's a self-vicious cycle that just brings down a game that, you know, could be fun. But since it's not fun to the constituents that are currently playing, you know, slowly people move on. And if there's no new players coming in, everyone's gonna leave, and eventually you have no people or nobody, and then you can't get games. And if you can't get games, or if you can't get them fast enough, because queue times do matter, they're not wrong when queue times matter. But if queue times start getting to significant periods of length, no one plays. And the only things that could get like significant queue times are ranked, because League of Legends has like 40-minute queue times sometimes for their really high up leagues, like, you know, Challenger Series shit. Those people are committed to play. But in a random game, you're gonna want like 30 seconds, because if you're waiting any longer than that, you're probably just gonna play something else. And they have data for that. I don't know the exact timeline. I don't know if it's a minute. I don't know if it's 30 seconds. But there's a significant drop-off of people between that kind of period of time in playing this game. And if they constantly have to wait a minute to 2 minutes every game to play, they're not going to play this game. And that's just, you know, having lower numbers, not, you know, accounting to this. Because this would make the lower numbers happen. Now this is all jumbled thoughts and shit, so I don't know what you'll get from this, other than that I hate this kind of end game content and the passion. I've definitely experienced it, and I've seen a game die because of it. And, you know, I'm not predicting the future here. Everyone's going to be pissed about this. Everyone is already. And everyone's already, you know, memeing the shit out of this, so it's pretty hilarious at this point. So I don't know how long it's going to take them to backtrack on this. And I trust that they will, even though I might not trust them on other things for like balancing reasons and stuff, because they do take their time. But yeah, I don't know what I'll do. Like, I really wanted to stream this game, but if this gets into it, I don't think the game is going to live long enough for me to make anything out of it. And I would have to find something else to stream. Please, Wargaming, please don't do this. I really hate my daytime job, and I would love to stream your game, because I do enjoy it. But making this is going to just kill the numbers. Nobody's going to want to play this game anymore if this goes through. They're just going to be too frustrated to play it. You'll have your favorite ship, and if you don't play it, you're not competitive. It's just not going to be fun. Because if you don't have those upgraded ships, you're just not... You just won't be competitive at this point. And you're going to have to fight people that have these ships to get these ships. And, you know, the whole model was, you know, going up tiers and stuff, but, you know, tier 8, you know, you fight tier 6s eventually sometimes. So you get a leeway a little bit, but 3 years down the road from now, everyone's going to have tier 3 units, or tier 3 ships. Like, not tier 3. I should just call them tier 13, maybe. The upgraded level 3. I'll call them levels, because tier 3 is like actually a tier in the game, ironically. But fighting a lot, like, you know, 3 years down the road, everyone's gonna have level 3 ships, especially their specific mainline ship. They're going to have those fully upgraded, or they're going to have a level 2. I would say level 2s are the break point where they go from crazy to why the fuck does this exist? You know. And I just don't see this as good. As I already say at the same time. Fucking like 17 times now. I just don't like this. And I think it's, as everyone will say, the end is nigh if they go through with this. So yeah, I think I'll call it here. I have probably talked for like 30, 40 minutes now. I'll find out when I turn this off. But oh yeah, never mind. Yeah, I didn't look at the time. 45. Jeez. Just nice long ass rant that is just a bunch of jumbled thoughts. So I don't know what you get from this. In the end, I don't see this as going to be a fun thing. It's going to be terrible for the game. I see people going to probably leave. And it's going to be a slow thing. It's not going to happen immediately. I know this won't happen immediately. And maybe not all the Unicoms will leave. Because they're going to have these ships. So they're not going to feel the effects too much. But eventually the ones that don't have these are not going to play. And the ones that do have them are eventually not going to have people to fight against with them. And at that point, you're not going to have that many games. And eventually, you're just not going to have enough people in a server. Like, I don't think C server would survive this. C server is already full of bots. Ironically, right now, they're already having their little server event that was for base XP. They already have it. They're investigating an entire bot infestation, basically, for it. So, you know, hooray for that. And, you know, I already feel like the game already had a brain drain from just the CV rework. Yeah, I know it's not the topic, but, like, I've been seeing more naked ships. People just broadside more nowadays. Just everything's not fun. Well, not everything. There's still fun in it. And I mean, the CV population dying down now has been nice. I am happy for that. And that the fact that destroyers are kind of coming back into the ecosystem as like a protected species. So at least, you know, at least we got that going for us now. The end of the CV rework is kind of, you know, here. Everything's, you know, kind of balancing out, and then they fucking bring this in. They just want people angry all the time. That's what I'm thinking. They just live off the salt of our tears or something. I don't fucking know. This is just... Why make us angry, dude? Just, come on, we're gaming. So, I don't know. I don't know at this end of the point. I just... It's less me being angry. Maybe I'm a little bit angry on this, but it's more of like, just why? Why do this? Why go through with this? And it's just not, it's not cool. I don't know. Anyways, I'm gonna edit here now, forcefully. I hope all of you have a nice day or week. And I hope the hell this does not go through. And it's not... This won't be fun. If this goes through, this is not going to be fun. And I don't know how long this game would last with this kind of stuff in it. Especially for player retention, as I've already said that constantly. Stupid jumble thoughts. So, anyways, this was Hosho. And, yeah, who knows if I make any more videos on this YouTube channel. This is a back burner channel. Who knows? So, if you like it, subscribe. I don't know. Just hearing my random thoughts. I do have a Twitch channel. I think I have it labeled fucking somewhere. I'll probably have it in the description. So if you like my voice, my shitty voice, you can find me on the Twitch channel. I generally play constantly on the Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday kind of schedule. But other than that, I don't know how long this will go. If this goes in, I don't know what the hell I'm going to do. It's like seeing a job getting taken away from you before you can even get it. So, yeah, I'm not excited for this because I have a little bit more in line with what I don't want this game to become. CV rework already pissed me off enough. This is bigger. Anyways, have a nice day, nice week. However long it takes me to get another fucking video to come out. If I even make those. So, see ya.